Hello, I'm here with the new issue of the zine about comics, Canon, that I make with my friend Alex Eklund. Fifth issue, summer 2025. Just going to do a really quick flip through because obviously this is more text than pictures. But just to sort of talk about this new one. Interview with Kayla E. She put out a book from Fantagraphics a few months ago now called Precious Rubbish. And we had a talk. I was actually the first person to do a long form interview with her. But thanks to being slow at making this zine, it's, about the 10th that's appeared. But I think we had a really good conversation. Really happy with how this interview turned out. And she was a pleasure to talk to and to work with on getting some very nice images to publish. That's the cover, though the cover when you see it is in red and blue. Next we have a review of Doghead number 1 by Jeremy Stone. Doghead number 1 is by Dave Cooper. This review is by Jeremy Stone, a new writer for Canon. Doghead number 1 was published by Mansion Press out of France. They've published some pretty cool stuff, and I wish they were more easily available here, though thankfully their publications have shown up here. A couple stores in Seattle carry them. Interesting French publisher that puts out tons of great stuff in English. Interview here with Jake Zalacki. Jake Zalacki is the guy who's written for Canon. But he also edited a book, Conversations with Todd McFarlane, for the University of Mississippi Press. And so I wanted to talk to him about that, how that process was, how he came to do it. Really cool book, really great subject. Most of the interviews are from the 90s, when McFarlane was, relevant, I guess, as a creator. Also, Jake Zalacki contributes a convention report, Los Angeles Comic-Con, kind of a less famous Southern California convention. Here's a review by Raymond Savage, another new writer to Canon's pages, and he reviews an oldie but a goodie, The Cowboy Wally Show by Kyle Baker. Really, really funny book. And unjustly neglected, I think. I wouldn't go so far as to call it a masterpiece, but it's very, very entertaining and really shows off Baker's ability to write gags and great dialogue. Here we have a new feature that we've never done before, a Critics Roundtable, where I asked 5 of the Canon writers to discuss a book. This book was The Inkle by Alejandro Jodorowsky and Mobius. Of course, this is mostly famous for Mobius's art, but Jodorowsky has his fans too. Alex Eklund, Ryan Carey, Ray Carcasis, Jake Zalacki, and Jeremy Stone all discuss The Inkle over... it's a pretty wide-ranging conversation. The conversation's a little shaggy, and it gets off topic here and there. Probably could have used a stronger editorial hand, but honestly, I wanted them to just kind of talk about what they wanted to. And I was very happy with how it turned out. I think, 5 very smart people discussing anything will bear some fruit. I was also happy that, the book got mixed results from everybody. They had all read the book before, but rereading it, they sort of, Jodorowsky's writing especially comes under fire, and I think justifiably so. Nobody has a problem with Mobius's art. That's not too hard to predict, but a flawed book, and I think we got some good conversation out of it. Brad Curry, who's been in every issue of Canon, is back. He's also written about Love and Rockets a couple times, and he does so again. Jaime versus Gilbert 2025. Really talking about, where the brothers are at and how much of their work's been collected. And and then reading 11 Rockets in 2025. Looking at some recent Hernandez Brothers publications and really just sort of taking stock with where these guys might be at and where the series might be at. Some interesting observations. I won't say revelations because I don't know if they're true, but observations by Brad. Review of Shadow Play Midnight School by a cartoonist named Sam Fonseca, who is a Brazilian cartoonist. Reviews by Gary Usher. I've actually recently been in contact with Sam Fonseca. He was happy this was reviewed. Published by Top Shelf. Is it Top Shelf Books? Top Shelf Comics? I can't remember. Anyway, they were kind enough to give us a review copy, and Gary Usher, a Canon stalwart, took a look at it. This is an interview with David Slatkin. He is a comic art dealer. He has his own company called Higher Consciousness Collectibles. And I met David through a Discord devoted to collecting original art. And I've met him in person once. Lovely guy. And I was intrigued about his business and its goals. Basically, his idea is that when he sells original art pages, he will try to contribute money back from that sale to the original artist. I believe this happens in Europe, but it is not something that is practiced over here. And most people are fairly wary of that concept. I'd say including me, actually. But I wanted to talk to him some more about it. And, he really explains where he's coming from very well. And I do think he's very well intentioned, and I hope everything works out for him. All the art included with his interview is art that was pulled from his site. So he has a variety of art and artists. He starts off kind of with his own collection, but he's also consigning work too. Lale Westwind is the 1970s Jack Kirby of right now. A review by Brad Curry of Lale Westwind's short story collection, Grand Electric Thought Power Mother. Guess that says it all. Great book by a great cartoonist. And there needs to be more writing on Westwind in general, I guess. Maybe Brad's the guy to do it. Next we have Genre Fluid, John Ostrander's Grimjack by Maudit Part. Maudit Part is another new writer to Canon's pages. Very active on social media. If you're in the comics space on Twitter, can't remember if he's still active on the other sites, but I bet he probably is. But especially on Twitter, you can still see stuff. Anyway, great look at an old comic from the 80s, John Ostrander's Grimjack. Some great artists worked on this, including here's a Tim Truman page right up front. Kind of a forgotten comic in a lot of ways. Flint Henry, represented here, also did some really nice looking work. Ran a long time. I think it ran, something like 80 issues, which is a hell of a long time for an independent comic like that. Anyway, fun look back. Next up, we have an interview with Maggie Umber, conducted by Lily Thu Fierro and Generoso Fierro. I interviewed those two back in Canon number 3 about their own work. And so kind of asked them if they'd be interested in talking to Maggie Umber, since I feel like they are operating in some of the same circles of comics. A nice conversation here between them, talking about Maggie's work. And that's it. On the back, we have an ad here for our spin-off zine, Die With Your Mask On, 1 and 2. Have not announced it yet, but 2 is actually available on our online store, which you want to check these out for sale at canonzine.bigcartel.com. There's a couple issues of Canon and a couple issues of Die With Your Mask On that are available right now. We are working on getting some of the older stuff back into print as well, but right now kind of focused on the new stuff. Canon number 5. There it is. Thanks.